Today we are talking moisturizer versus moisture because there is a difference. There's a difference between moisturizers, and also between hydration. So I did a little did you know this morning that moisturizers don't hydrate. Now, moisturizers are more like a locking agent. They're petroleum, and they're used to lock in hydration, aka moisture, which we'll talk about more in just a second. I am waiting for my lovely mentor to come in. She's supposed to be joining us live tonight to help us with some questions. We're going to do a good Q&A over the difference between moisture and moisturizers because they are not the same, and I think that there's a common misconception because they have kind of the same word in them that they're the same, but they are not. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, we're going to talk about it. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to join the live and ask your questions. I'm just waiting on her to come in. Hopefully she got the link and she'll be here soon. How was everybody's Monday? Is everybody having a great Monday today? I hope so. My Monday was cool. It was a good day. It wasn't bad. I did my hair. It wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. I'm really excited to have this conversation. Here she is. She should be coming in. Hi, Miss Tanya.
Hi, Miss Mo. How are
How are
you?
you? I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I am good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm
Yes, thank
excited.
you so much for coming. I'm excited.
Good.
Everybody, this is Miss Tanya. She is the founder of the wonderful, amazing My Water solution that I use in my shop. The product that I'm always telling you guys about. She's also the creator of the My Water experience, which is giving people scalp and hair care restoration. It's amazing. I'm so excited to have her here to continue to discuss this conversation over moisture versus moisturizers because they are different. And I think that a lot of us are confused about that.
Yeah, so I think that everybody is confused about that because, first of all, I think that there is maybe an assumption that because the word moisture is a part
Mhm.
of the word moisturizer, that a lot of individuals think that there is a commonality between the two, and moisture has nothing to do with moisturizers. Let me explain. And I want to just introduce myself. I am the CEO of Tanya Does Hair LLC here in Denver,
Mhm.
Colorado. I'm also the founder of My Water Beauty Solution, as well as
Yes.
the creator of the all new My Water Experience and the all new Hair and Scalp Restoration Program. I have 31 years under my belt. I've been doing hair since 1988. I was in high school. So I have a lot of knowledge and I have a lot of experience under my belt.
Yes.
I've been an educator for Empire Beauty Schools. So I also hold 6 certifications to educate in 6 different modules or areas. So I like to always start out with me being a holistic practitioner. I don't just use that word for clout with my business. I am a full holistic woman and I live a full holistic lifestyle. So, with holistics, I like to give the definition because this is
Yes.
educational and that's what this is all about, us bridging the gap of confusion so that we can do better in our lives and we can understand the results of our choices. That's what this is all about.
Yes.
So, holistic means nothing about natural. A lot of individuals do not know what holistic means. I ask a lot of women sometimes, and they tend to come with the wrong definition. So, I want to give that definition and give that education as well. I want you to control the comments. And I want you to look at them and make sure that you're
Yes.
engaging and
So Everybody, we are having a conversation tonight over moisture versus moisturizer because they are different and there's common confusion about them being the same. So, tonight we're breaking down the difference between the two and giving you guys a little bit of inside knowledge about holistic hair care.
That's right. So again, so let me go back into the definition of holistics, which I follow both definitions, which is looking at the whole. That's what holistics is all about. So another word for holistic, it means research, which means I've looked into all things that pertain to one area. So when it comes to shampoo, I've tested over 11 different shampoos and have looked at the ingredients to determine their differences. That's what holistic is all about.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it comes to our hair, and this goes for men as well as women, I had to do the research to decide and find what are we really looking for. Because again, I just told you I've been doing hair for 31 years and I was confused. I thought moisture was conditioner. I also thought
Yeah.
I could buy moisture because I used to even would say things like, what can I buy to put moisture into my hair? Because I knew that my hair was brittle feeling. I
Mm-hmm.
knew that my hair was shedding. And I knew that my hair was not looking as shiny as I wanted it to look, and it was looking dull. And so at that time, like I said, I would ask for moisture, but I was confused because I never really took the time to look up the definition. And that's sad because that's
Yeah.
something that our culture, we have to get used to doing, which is reading. Because when we do read, you learn so
Yes,
much.
indeed.
Yes,
Yes, indeed.
absolutely. Absolutely. So, let's dive right into this thing with moisturizer versus moisture because the purpose of our live tonight is to bridge the gap of confusion and to empower individuals and to share what we know. That's what holistics is all about. We're
Yeah.
not gatekeepers. We are also not experts. We are still learning, we're still researching, and
Yes.
we're still reading. So we're always going to maybe pivot and adjust because that's what researchers do. Those that choose not to test and read and research, they become stagnant in life. And we don't want to become stagnant. That's what brings on depression and other things. So, moisturizer, I always inspire us to read. So, just
Mm-hmm.
Google the definition. Take the time to self educate and Google the definition of moisturizer, and you will find that it says that it's a cream or a lotion. It doesn't say that it's a hair softener. Moisturizers do not tell us that it doesn't say it's going to soften hair. It doesn't even tell us it's going to make our hair brittle nor crunchy feeling either. But when you look at the definition, let's talk about some of the things that I would say qualify to being a moisturizer. So, lotion, that's a moisturizer,
Mm-hmm.
because that's a cream, right? Um, moisture creams that we put on our face, they call them
Yes.
moisturizers.
Mm-hmm.
That is not what we use to soften hair with, because I've looked at the ingredients of moisturizers, and in fact, there's a lot of moisturizers that contain alcohol. Alcohol is a carcinogenic chemical. We all know this. That's not only flammable, but it's very toxic. We can't drink it. We can't get it in our eyes. It even burns our skin. So, to place that type of a chemical into our hair is definitely dangerous and it's not going to give us a soft result. So, I then had to research moisture because moisture is what I believe we all are after. However, when I did the research, moisture, well, it's in the air. Moisture is another word for humidity. It's just that the news anchors and don't use that word. They use the word humidity. Thing like me, I thought humidity and moisture were two different things because they're two different words. So it confused me, and I didn't realize that they were common. had any commonalities. But in fact, when you Google the definition of moisture, it does not say that it's a cream or a lotion. It does not say that it's inside of plastic bottles or any of that nature.
Mhm.
It clearly tells us that it's water.
Water. Mhm.
Right. So this is where I come into play, which I do consider myself a water hydration. I have heavy water knowledge. I've been studying water for over 7 years now. And what I had to come to realize is that moisture is not the water that comes out of our taps in our homes and our businesses. Because again, moisture is something God created, not man, and nor altered by man. And it's not for sale. We can go buy water, tap water out the
Mhm.
stores labeled purified water. So I didn't know this at all in my within my own practice and my own journey. So once I started realizing, like, oh, well, somebody like me, Mo, as you know, I live in Denver, Colorado, and
Right.
a lot of individuals have never lived here. So flashback about my climate here. And it is so different than Texas. It's totally different than Chicago. It's totally different than Georgia, than Louisiana, because we do not possess hardly any moisture, AKA humidity, here in our climate. So things do not react the same as they do in a humid climate. So
Mhm.
within my research mode, I had to realize and learn that moisture is in the climate that we reside in. And based on where you live is going to determine how much moisture you have. And your climate is actually the what I call the underlying factor of what is really going on with your hair. So I now realize and want everyone to understand that moisture has nothing to do with a moisturizer. In
Mhm.
fact, I think we all are using conditioners, let's be frank, to obtain soft hair. But girl, Mo, have you not noticed that once we rinse conditioner out, our hair is
Not
jacked
soft.
up? Oh
Right.
my gosh. So
Right.
let me share the history with that because I don't think a lot of individuals understand what has happened over the years in this industry.
Mhm.
And this one's gonna hurt.
Yes.
But
But
did you
that's
know that
okay.
conditioners but did you know conditioners were made for white people hair? It's not, it's not a black hair product. It was
Yes,
formulated
I did not
and
know that.
designed, but we use it so much thinking that it's gonna what soften our
Soften
hair.
our
That's not what it
hair,
was designed for.
moisturize our hair, hydrate our hair. And I think that's also the confusion
No,
between thinking that conditioner hydrates and that it moisturizes, and then thinking that moisturizing is the same thing as hydrating. And all of that confusion is leaving everybody's hair dehydrated.
that is correct because it is a moisturizer. And anytime we have alcohol in the
Mhm.
equation, which is the formula or the ingredient list, that chemical is so strong that it overtakes all of the other chemicals mixed it together in that mixture and it prevents it from doing anything good. So here in my climate of Colorado, once conditioners dry, our hair is crunchy, it's brittle,
Mhm.
it's dull looking, it's shedding. And so we've had to come to admit the fact that we don't like the result of conditioner on our hair, especially now that we've done the trial of trying our hair without conditioner. We'll never go
Yes.
back. I'll
And
never
how
go
much
back. I have
softer
not.
it is.
Yes, baby.
Yes.
I ain't kinky frizzy no more. My hair is
Yes.
not falling out all in the bowl and in my bathroom sink anymore. Even at my worst times, my hair looks decent now. That was not the case when I was following the natural approach. I was using so many products. I was putting oil in my hair every day
Mhm.
because my hair was so frizzy and crunchy and brittle. So it was like a never-ending struggle for me when I was following the natural approach. And now that I've taken on this holistic approach for my hair and my skin, I don't have to wear any makeup anymore. I don't have to use any conditioner anymore. I'm not overweight. I'm no longer sick. I'm no longer struggling with headaches. I no longer have thyroid issues. So the holistic approach has not just changed my hair, but it's changed my entire life. So
Yes.
this is why I wanted to get on with you tonight so that you had some support because I know how difficult followers are. I know how difficult the industry is because we have been so brainwashed and we've been so distracted by all of these marketing myths and ploys that becoming dangerous. And what I'm really worried about, it's not us adults. I'm worried about our children. I have grandkids and they're growing up to learn and listen that braids are a healthy style. No, it is not. I'm 49 years old, so I'm not afraid to be honest, and I'm not afraid to state what's facts and what's right. And I don't think that my grandchildren are growing up with the right information because there's so much incorrect knowledge being shared on social media nowadays that is what's causing such the
So much
confusion.
confusion.
Yes, because we watch social media so much, we tend to believe what we're
What we
seeing
see.
here than anywhere else, than any other place, and that is so unfortunate. So I wanted to come on to just help you spread this good gospel about the
Yes.
knowledge that we're learning and that we're sharing that's making a difference. And so I want everyone that is watching to understand moisture has nothing to do with a moisturizer, and moisture is free. It's not for sale, it's in
So
the
then
air.
I think a good question, because here down south we always think humidity in the air is a bad thing. Like, oh my God, no, it's humid, my hair. So is humidity actually a good thing for our hair?
It is because anybody that lives in humidity, their hair be growing
Growing.
fast, just like a tropical plant. I've done the research now. I used to get so much lashback and so much confusion about why things were grown, why hair grew so well in humidity climates, and why everybody's hair was falling, or not everybody, why most people's hair was falling out here in Denver, Colorado. And that is only, oops, sorry, that is only because we do not possess any moisture in
Humidity.
our air. So here we struggle with eczema, and actually anybody that is living in a climate that contains less than 70% of moisture, aka humidity in their air, is considered a dry climate. Only those living in a humid or a climate with humidity above 70% is when you're within what's called a muggy or a humid climate.
Mm-hmm.
So I now have done the research to understand there's only 4 to 5 states that are dry in the whole world. And I live in one of those four. You do not, Mo. You don't live in
Yeah,
a dry climate.
it's
So a
humid
lot of
here.
individuals, even on my channels, they argue with me a lot and they call me uneducated and they kind of come for me because they've never lived in my climate. So you have no idea what we're
What
going
y'all
through
deal
here in
with.
Colorado.
Yeah.
There is a reason I found my product and designed the My Water experience to combat these what's called underlying factors that we have no control over. I can't go outside and adjust the humidity in my air
Right.
like I can adjust the AC in my home. I don't have that kind of control in life. So I thought that, like I said, it was important that we share this important, crucial knowledge that if you're looking for soft hair, a bottle of conditioner is not the solution. That's going to set it into place, and it's not going to be easy to comb through once it dries. And I've learned that this is even in a humid climate as well. I do travel down to Georgia. I'm in Atlanta at least once a year, and I'm now realizing that it is two totally different scenarios of hair when I'm in Georgia compared to when I'm here in Colorado. So now I see why I was so confused, because the majority of the world has moisture in the air and we don't. So, any questions for me?
Moisturizer. So, what exactly should moisturizer be used to do if it
To
doesn't
style
hydrate?
your it's moisturizers, the function of a moisturizer is to cover and coat.
Mhm.
So there are times when we want to do that. For instance, maybe we are like myself. We're going from a dry climate and we're traveling into a humid climate. At
Mhm.
that time, I want my hair to be weighed down. I don't want the humidity to make it reform. And I may be wearing my natural state of hair, which is meaning I let it air dry. If I'm going into a climate, I definitely want to set my pattern into place. I don't want it getting bigger and I don't want it swelling any bigger into it. So that's when I'm going to use conditioner, is when I'm traveling into a humid climate because it is there that the conditioner is not going to turn to a solid and keep my hair soft. Here in Colorado, we have less than 70% moisture in our air. So conditioner dries on our hair and it makes our hair very, very crunchy and brittle feeling. And we don't like that effect. So
Mhm.
I would say moisturizers are helpful at times, but you got to understand what they are in order for you to understand the result when you're choosing to use them and you're not confused or feel like you've wasted your money because your hair is crunchy instead of being soft. So
Right.
that's what moisturizers, I think, are best used for. They're also good for the face, I think, if you live in humidity. We cannot put moisturizers on our face here in Colorado. If we do, it's going to dry our skin out even more and turn it white once it dries. At that point, they call it eczema. And if you've got eczema on your skin, that itches because the alcohol, among other ingredients within that moisturizer, has turned to a solid and has dried onto our skin. So many individuals here in Colorado have been brainwashed to believe that their own living skin is dry. Living skin cannot be dry while we're living. The only time skin is dry is the day after you die. It's not even dry on the day of death because we all have a sebaceous gland that we didn't ask for. That's another thing God did for us that we don't control and we didn't ask for.
Mhm.
It was automatically given. So I did not know that either. I used to call my skin and my scalp dry. It's not. And if we keep thinking wrong, we're going to keep doing wrong because our brains are not properly functioning within the subject that we're discussing. So I honestly um did not know that. I used lotion all my life, and no wonder I had eczema. No wonder my skin was so blotchy and dry and white patches all in the pits of my arms and itching and going through all the struggles that I went through. And quite frankly, when it comes to our skin, we got a different kind of problem than the concerns that we have to worry about outside. Because once you choose to go inside, now you're dealing with tap water remains on your skin and that,
Mhm.
like I told you, that's not moisture. Tap water is not a soft water, so it's not going to soften your hair. So now we got to worry about what happens to us when we're indoors as well as outdoors. Because we was just talking about moisturizers outside, but when we use here a moisturizer inside on our skin, it's going to cause us a struggle. So, like here in Colorado, we use a lot of oils. I do. I use oil on my skin. I would never smear lotion on my skin ever again. Excuse me, because it has made my skin struggle. And again, I'm holistic. So I look at everything. I don't just look at the fact that I bought it or who paid, whose name is on it. I look at the
Right.
results of what it's done to me and then I determine, do I want to use this again or do I want to pivot away from it and maybe try something else? So that would be, I hope that I didn't go in too far into all of that, but that's some of the what things that moisturizers are good for. But honestly, I don't buy them anymore. So damaging to our hair and skin here that I've learned to avoid them. And I also had to learn they're so unnecessary. I didn't know that. I thought I had to put lotion on my skin. I thought I had to put conditioner in my hair, and that's not true. In fact, all of that stuff is highly unnecessary because
Mhm.
my generation, when I was born in the 70s, we didn't even have all this stuff on the market, and our hair and skin was just fine. Our hair and skin didn't struggling until they started coming with all of these
These different
products on the
products.
market like gel. edge control, conditioner, butters, creams. We didn't have all of this on the market when I first started doing hair in the 80s, and our hair and font was fine back then. So I even got distracted by the industry and social media, brainwashing me into believing that I needed all this stuff in my hair when I don't. It's a choice.
Right.
So ain't nobody gonna take us to jail if we want to put gasoline in our hair. We can mix that with some mud and some clay and charcoal if we'd like. And if you want to smear that on your edges, that is all on you, because God did assign us to care for our bodies ourselves. That's nobody's responsibility but us. And there's no laws that say that you have to care for your hair properly. You can
Properly.
do it wrong every day, all day if you want to, but your hair is definitely going to show it. You're going to usually be in braids, or you're going to have to be in a weave or a wig, because those practices don't give this result in our
Exactly.
hair. So
Exactly.
I feel that, like I said, I hope that I have helped us to think about it. Maybe I haven't cleared your confusion, but I definitely hope I've got our brains spinning a little bit
Going.
better in a different
Right.
direction to understand that when we choose to access things, we got to learn how to research them so that we understand what it
What they
is,
are.
what it was designed for, and then determine if you really want that result. Um, so, did I help?
So I think that a good question for people is, if I feel like my hair is dry, or it's brittle, it's not soft,
Uh
it's
oh,
not
you just
manageable,
froze.
what should I use if not
Hold
conditioner?
on, Mo. I gotta get my ear. Please for having a hard time hearing you.
Okay.
So, okay, talk to me. Can you hear me?
Can you hear? I can hear you. Can you hear me? I
Can
can
you
hear
hear me?
you. I can hear you. Can you hear me? You can't hear me? I can hear
I
you.
don't know why I can't hear you. I'm gonna take it off.
Can you
Talk
hear
to me
me?
again.
Can you hear me? No,
I can.
you
I
can't.
can.
Uh-oh.
You are
Oh
freezing a
no.
lot.
Is it still freezing?
Took mine off of maybe that'll help a little better. Any followers that are on with us, any
Are we
viewers,
freezing?
and are is our reception okay? Can everybody give us a thumbs up to help us know if we're being heard okay or if we're freezing? But that looks better, Mo.
You can hear me?
I can't hear you though for some reason, the
No.
sound. And my Bluetooth is not connecting like it does on IG. So
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you through the phone, but it's just faint. All right, so go
Hmm.
ahead. But you're not freezing now. So go ahead and say it over.
Okay, so I was asking, so if I'm a person and I feel like I have dry hair, brittle hair, or it's not soft to the touch, and I feel like my hair is unruly and unmanageable, and I'm looking for conditioner to moisturize my hair, soften my hair, what should I use if conditioner is not yielding me the result that I'm looking for?
Well, that's the problem. That is the biggest problem. You just said a lot of things that are wrong in that sentence. You can't soften. You said you wanted to soften your hair. You can't do
Mhm.
that with a moisturizer. A moisturizer does not soften. Moisturizers make our hair, it sets it into place. It's not a hair softener. It doesn't say that
Okay.
nowhere on the bottle. It's never told us it's going to soften hair.
Mhm.
Social media tells us that it softens hair, but why we've never taken time to look at the bottles and look at the ingredient lists, which is where the truth is, to understand that that's not the roadmap to soft hair. It's going to set your hair into place, and in fact, anybody struggling with crunchy, brittle, dry, dull hair, you're using conditioner. Period. That's what causes hair to act like that. Once you
So it
eliminate
like
condition,
weighs the hair down, basically.
well, again, remember, I told you I've done a lot of research, and it's not like, especially for us. Now, let's be frank, we're talking about a shampoo, blow dry, press, and curl. We're not
Mhm.
talking about the curly method. So when it comes to a shampoo, blow dry, press, and curl, we have to rinse that conditioner out.
Out.
You don't just leave the conditioner in and then plug up a flat iron or a blow dryer and start blowing
Out.
through that. We all know we have to rinse it off. This is where the biggest problem is occurring with conditioner is our tap water. I'm not sure if you know, like I know, but tap water is extremely contaminated these days. We think that just because it's clear, that it's clean, and it's not. Tap
Mhm.
water is extremely contaminated. And I mean, that's anybody's house. Nobody is special here in the United States. Everybody has what's called treated water. And treatment does not mean the removal of. Treatment actually means the addition of. So once we get
Mhm.
ready to rinse the conditioner out, there's so many people in the world today within our communities. Just think about it. Look at all the new apartment complexes that are being built and going up, all the new businesses and schools and hospitals that are being built. Well, one thing that we haven't stopped to think about and consider that in addition to all of them beautiful new buildings being built, there's toilets inside of each dwelling unit that's being used that is directly contaminating and altering our tap water system. This is our primary tool when we use for our hair, skin, and our nails, and it has gotten extremely contaminated over the years. The chlorine levels are so high now in our tap water, it's darn near swimming pool water because I can smell the chlorine coming from the tap now. That's never been the case here in Colorado. I've never been able to detect the smell of chlorine. That's dangerous. That's just like us going to the
Mhm.
local rec center and getting a water bottle and filling it up with water and then drinking that or pouring it on our
Put
heads.
it
And
on
we
our
all know
hair and our
that
skin.
swimming pool water is not healthy. But yet I think we
Mhm.
think that just because it's coming to our house, that what it's clean or they avoided our house with the
Right.
chlorine. No. So once you put this stuff into your hair, we got to rinse it out. And I don't care what it is that we use, you just messed it all up when you rinsed it with tap water because the tap water is no longer able to effectively remove like it used to. And I tell everybody, if that was not true, we wouldn't have to clean our tubs and our toilets. But we all know that we got to clean our tubs and toilets and with the same water that we're using in our hair. So I tell a lot of my
Mhm.
clients and the people that I train, if the tap water was really rinsing the way it was supposed to be, we would never have to clean our tubs. Excuse me, we would never have to use a carcinogenic strong chemical to clean the tubs
Right.
with. So I tell everybody, have you ever stopped to think about the fact that all that stuff that you see that you got to get off your tub with Ajax and bleach is on you?
It's on your skin and
It's
your
on you
hair.
too. You got a lot of soap scum in your hair because the tap water does the same thing to us that it's doing to the tubs. But this is a part of the holistics that I know nobody's taking time to think about. We're moving so fast that we're not slowing down and processing what is
Mhm.
truly happening. So when I did my research, I pinpointed it down to the time that the hair changed. And that was after I rinsed the conditioner out. Yes, the hair feels soft and smooth, and there's slippage when it's wet. But that's with anything that's wet, Mo. I've done the research. I put mud on my hair. If it's in the wet, liquidified form, it's going to soften your hair. You can put clay or Play Doh on your hair. If it's in the liquefied form, it's going to feel soft on your hair. Tap water makes your hair feel soft when it's wet. But what happens when these things
When
turn
it
to a solid
dries.
and dry? It don't feel
Yeah.
good no more,
Yeah.
and we have to come to terms with this. So I realized that once I rinsed the conditioner off, what the heck happened to the hair? My client's hair now looks worse than it looked before I even
Before
started
I shampooed it.
shampooing it. And now I gotta try to make it look better than what she walked in at. So this is what makes me
It's
start grabbing the oil, like, oh my God, because I'm flipping out behind her hair, wondering what
trying
the
to
heck
fix
just
it.
happened when it's supposed to be better
Right.
because I use conditioner when in fact, I don't know if anybody else wants to admit it, conditioner was messing the hair up and making my job
Correct.
harder.
Harder.
So
Correct.
another thing about being 49 years old, we stop struggling. We don't like to struggle at my age. I entertained it in my 30s, but I don't like to struggle and I sure don't like being confused. So this is why I had to sit my butt down and read so that I can better help you and all the others that care about their hair. Because look, there is a thing, Mo, you know everybody don't care about their hair.
Yes, I am
Yeah,
learning.
most people don't care. They just gonna braid it up
Learning.
and throw a wig on it. That shows that they don't care about their
Right.
hair. Because I would never, ever put a wig on my head. No, I
Yeah.
love my hair. I love my hair. I would never cover it up. That's like putting a sheet over your children when you take your kids out into public. That clearly shows that you're ashamed of your
Of
children,
your
right?
head.
Because if you're
Yeah.
proud of what you got, you're gonna flaunt it. You're gonna
That is
show it
very
and you're
true.
gonna rock it, right?
That is very true.
Yes.
Because before I
So
was
the tap water,
introduced to this holistic care, I was
woo,
covering because I was ashamed.
look, even when
So
our hair is
that's
messed up,
very
look,
true.
I don't even have to be
Mm,
sexy on here. Even when it's messed up, it looks decent. It
yes.
still is manageable. My ends are
And it
never
flows.
tangled. They're never kinky. We got movement. I couldn't do
Yes.
that to my hair when it was
With
natural. It was all
conditioner in it.
stuck and
Facts.
stiff and weighed down with
Big
oil.
bro.
And
Facts.
yes, yes,
Facts.
talk that stuff, Mo. So now you might want to talk about how we have figured out how to give ourselves this relaxer look without having no relaxer because we don't have no chemicals in our hair.
Correct. So that's where I was leading to with my previous question. So if conditioner doesn't work, what should we use? And that's where my water solution comes in. Miss
That's right.
Tanya, maybe you can tell us a bit about your wonderful, amazing product and how it gives us this nice, manageable hair that we have.
So a lot of people are very skeptic about me and my amazing product and my brand because there's a lot of individuals that don't have no water knowledge. They think they have water knowledge, but they don't. And
Great.
you can tell that somebody doesn't have water knowledge because they'll ask me, what's in this water? What did you add to this water? Well, if you know water, like I know water, you don't have to add nothing to it in order to get it to function. It's what you need to remove from the water in order to get water to function and thoroughly rinse. So, like I told everybody, I didn't go to YouTube University. I surely didn't go back to the beauty school book. I sat down with a chemist and an environmentalist who taught me about water as it relates to the water that comes into our dwelling units and that we use in our businesses. And I was able to study chemistry as it relates to the words that are on the back of these bottles. I didn't know what lauryl sodium sulfonate meant. Now I know what it means. I know that it's needed in shampoos, and that's the active ingredient, which is the humectant, which is a detergent. If you don't have a humectant in your shampoo, which is sulfur, it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna bubble and it ain't gonna remove nothing. So there's so many women that believe in the fact or thinks that there's a natural shampoo. There's no such thing. A natural shampoo should mean that there's zero chemicals in it. If it's truly natural. And if it's truly natural, it's not removing nothing because you need a chemical in order to strip something away from the hair or the skin. So I never looked at shampoo as a chemical product, but it is. You don't know how many women confused me by labeling their hair. I don't have any chemicals in my hair. Yeah, you do. The only people that believe that are those that don't have no chemistry knowledge that are going to say, "Oh, you don't got no chemicals in your hair?" Well, a relaxer is not the only chemical on the shelves.
Correct.
Shampoo. I see somebody says, "Nah, I use 20 in one shampoo." Well, girl, you using over 100
Over.
chemicals in your hair. That's clearly on the bottle, and I did not know that. I did not ever look at my shampoo bottle as a chemical product, but shampoo is a chemical product. And once we start to understand these things, we won't be so confused in our heads about what we
Correct.
should be using. So you did bring up, let me grab my bottle. this amazing product.
Amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I do too. It's got my hair healthier than it's ever been before.
Yes.
Because now everybody's wondering, well, what's in the water? The same stuff. No, I wouldn't, I won't say that. I don't want to go too deep into water because I already know most individuals on here do not have any water knowledge. And
Mhm,
I get frustrated with trying to convince, and you end up arguing with people that don't have the knowledge. So
mhm,
I'm gonna just cut to the chase. This water has been tested and approved by the Parker Water and Sanitation District here in Parker, Colorado. I didn't just go into a grocery store. This is not store-bought water. This is not bottled
mhm.
tap water. I have a highly sensitive process that I do to our city tap water to get it to this level. My water is cleaner than anybody's tap water anywhere in the world. I can prove, I tell everybody, you got to prove me wrong. You prove to me that my water is or your water is cleaner than
Mhm.
mine. So I know how to turn heavy water into soft water, and that's what I've done. And with that, this water is removing what the tap water leaves behind. So when
Okay.
we rinse even the shampoo out of our hair, you still got ingredients of that shampoo that are still remaining. You got traces of it still in your hair. In addition to rust, we're not thinking about this part. The hot water source has rust in it. It doesn't come from the ground like the cold water does. Your hot water source in your house comes from a tank. It's called a hot water heater that sits in a closet someplace in the dwelling unit that has about 40 gallons of water that just sits in it all day long until you decide to access the hot water option. At that point, that hot water, it's distilled water, quite frankly, because it's got so much rust in it. Look, so many people drinking distilled water don't have no idea what they're drinking, and they're drinking and swallowing a lot of rust. So, externally on our hair, that's why our hair feels so brittle even after using conditioner. Your hair is not soft. I have to make stylists admit that to me. You cannot
Mhm,
comb through the hair after you rinse conditioner out. It is
mhm,
hard. It looks like a cloud. It's poofy.
mhm.
That's not proper process if the hair is truly conditioned. We just messed the hair up. We just made it worse
But
when we use conditioner. And I didn't realize that. I was
yeah,
so busy copying everybody and listening to others that it confused me until I did the research. So now I have to admit, I am changing women's lives here in Colorado. They're leaving my salon with healthier hair that's manageable. It's not shedding anymore. In fact, their hair is growing faster than it's ever grown before. So I'm
yes,
very, very, very pleased at the
yes,
results of this water, and I'll
yes,
never ever go back to using conditioner ever again.
yes, me as well, me as well.
Yeah, so this is becoming a staple, and what needs to happen is everyone needs to buy a bottle from you because you do sell my water beauty solution,
I
and
do.
try it. I tell everybody it ain't gonna hurt you, it's just water. You guys tried conditioner, we all tried
Yes.
relaxers. Didn't nobody ask, well, what's in the relaxer before we jump knee deep into that bucket? So don't let water bother you. If it don't do nothing for you, it ain't gonna do nothing to hurt you. It's water. It ain't like it's gonna burn your scalp like a relaxer does. It's not like it's gonna
Right,
make your hair hard and crunchy and brittle like conditioner does. So try it.
right.
The only people that don't love this product are those that have not tried it. Because, honey, once you try it, you are hooked and shook.
Okay.
Hooked
All
and
right.
shook.
Yes. Yes,
Your
indeed.
hair looks
Yes,
so good.
indeed.
It's
Thank
smooth. It doesn't look
you.
kinky. You don't look nappy. It doesn't look brittle. You don't look fuzzy and frizzy. It's smooth. You look neat.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And even though so many people be like, "Well, Miss Tanya, how come your hair ain't growing?" I'm 49 years old. I don't want my hair growing no more. It ain't growing the way it used to. So I'm okay with my short hair because it's
Mhm.
healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's healthy and we got this shine to it and it's
With no
silky.
oil.
Woo, honey,
Yes.
honey. Yes.
Yes. I
Yes,
love
I love
it.
it too.
Awesome. Does anybody out there have any questions over anything? Questions,
Any
comments,
confusions? Like,
concerns?
well, I thought that moisture, was lotion, or I thought that, moisturizer was water. You know what I'm saying? We clear
Right.
your confusion. That's what we have to do in our lives nowadays so that we're
Mhm.
not living our lives confused. That's so sinful to live that way, because all you have to do, if you're afraid to ask your questions, then just go to Google and ask Google.
And look it
Google
up.
will help
Yeah.
you instead of walking around assuming all
Very true.
day, which is so sinful. That makes an ass out of you and me. So we should stop assuming and start reading. Start reading the ingredient
Looking
list. Do
stuff
you
up.
know how many women have used shampoo and they've never read the ingredient list? So they have no idea what they're even putting on their hair. They just trust it because it's shampoo
Yes.
and and not researching it anymore. So
Facts.
ask your questions, everybody. That's
Facts.
what makes alive live.
Facts, facts, facts.
Yeah, your hair is looking good. It's so much fuller in
Yes.
your
It's coming in
ends.
so full from the and I was looking at that today. I was like, oh, my little density is it's not, it's getting there. It's getting
Yes,
there.
yes. I'm so proud of you.
I'm
So proud of you.
excited. Thank you. It looks like nobody has any questions for us.
That means anytime I speak, I'm now aware of why I don't get any questions. I speak so thoroughly and I clear a
Ain't no
lot of
questions.
confusion that I minimize questions. Correct. When you got a room full of questions, that means you just confused everybody.
Everybody.
But when you tend to, when you don't have questions, my daughter taught me that in my beginnings. I used to get off stage and I would be like, how come nobody got no questions? And Deja would be like, "Cuz, mom, you cleared all the confusion. You went there for us. So I hope that I've helped to empower you all that are on here with us tonight. I hope that you take the time to read the ingredient list of your conditioner bottle, and you're gonna find carcinogenic chemicals like alcohol. It's in every bottle. Propylene glycol is in every bottle of conditioner. Now, if you don't have chemistry knowledge like I do, you probably don't even know what those two words mean. Propylene glycol is the primary ingredient that the FAA approves for jet fuel, my people. What in the world is that doing in a bottle for our hair? If it's really supposed to help us in, and it's mixed in with alcohol amongst 30 other chemicals including chlorine, whole bunch of salt is mixed into each chemical. That's not healthiness. That would be like us running into the kitchen and getting some salt and getting the bucket of bleach for our clothes and mixing it
Point
all together and then putting it in a bottle and then saying we're conditioning our hair. We have to wake up and start understanding the things that we're accessing and what it's doing to us. And we have to stop assuming and start reading. It's the
Yes.
only way we're going to get better. That's the only way
And
I
stop
got better.
spending our money on it because as long as we spend our money on it, they will continue to have us buying things that are literally causing some of our, problems. So it's like don't buy your problems, buy solutions. If we're
Exactly.
gonna do that, yeah, let's buy solutions, not things to further along the problems. Yes, that's
Mhm.
awesome.
Right, right.
It's been awesome for me. This has been awesome for me. Yes. Any questions? I don't think anybody has any questions, Miss T. I think you
I don't
did
see any
so.
questions either. So that just means hopefully
Yes.
that we've inspired some individuals to try my water
My
beauty
water
solution in
solution.
place of your conditioner so that you too can finally experience softer hair, healthier hair, less shedding. I mean, we've all been trying to figure out how to minimize our hair loss. This product minimizes your hair loss. We've all been looking for something that softens your hair. This product softens your hair. Conditioner sure don't. We've all been looking for a product that's going to give us a sheen, this halo to our
Yes.
hair without using oil. I don't put oil into
Yes.
my hair no more. And I didn't get this
Yes.
sheen when I was using oil. My hair was still frizzy and my
Correct.
hair was still looking dull. So I had to admit the fact that the oils weren't helping me either. All they was doing was weighing my hair down and making it heavy.
Heavy. Yes.
Yes, and I thought that was
Correct.
healthy hair, and that's not. Like, that's non-moving hair is not
It's
healthy
not
hair. That
healthy.
clearly shows that it's weighed down and covered with product. Now, some people may say, "Well, I love my stiff hair." This is where we're different because I don't like stiff hair. I don't like hair that I can't comb through. I don't like hair that looks fuzzy or frizzy. I don't like big hair. You know what I'm saying? I like more sleek hair. And this is where us in the world
Yeah.
are different.
Different.
Yeah, because some people do love to see their hair shed and all in the bathroom sink, and they love seeing their hair coming off out in their brush and in their comb. They are fine with their edges receding and never gonna do anything about it, you know?
Not me.
That's not me either.
Not me.
No, that's not me. And that was me, though. I have to admit that that was me at
Yeah.
one point. I just didn't know what else to do.
To do.
I
True.
didn't have a Tanya in my life. I didn't know a Miss Mo. So
Yeah.
I was really stuck and struggling, and I really was hating my hair. And that's why I've even braided it before. That's why I used to do updos and protective styles because my hair was so unruly that I couldn't wear it like I do now.
Wanted
Now that
to.
I have found my water beauty solution, I'll never braid my hair again. I will never
Same.
put my wig back on. I'm never gonna put a sew in and extensions and tape ins and all that in my hair because now my hair is finally free. It's finally healthy. And that's all I've ever been after in all my 49 years of being in this industry, or 31 years of being in this industry.
Yes.
So I thank God tonight on this beautiful
Yeah.
Monday evening to have inspired me to create this hair heaven for us and to do the work for us, which was all the reading. I already know we don't like to read, so I did it for us. And I
Yes.
went and I searched, I went back into the wilderness for us, and I read, I cried, I found, I searched, I
Yes.
tested, and I came out and now I'm like, look, y'all, we got this all backwards. And I
Yes.
have reinvented this wheel to provide us with better. We don't want to get worse and worse and worse and worse. We want to
Right.
find solutions that are
Regress.
going to save us money. We want to find the solutions that's going to save us time. We don't
Time.
want to be buying products that's going to add to our day or make our
Mhm.
day worse. So,
Make it harder. Yep.
yes, I'm hoping that I'm encouraging us to make the switch. We made
Yes.
the switch years ago and went into relaxers. Make the switch and come to holistic hair care. And I tell everybody, just try it. You're not going to be disappointed. We don't get
Mhm.
complaints. Don't nobody
Facts.
complain about their hair when they
Facts.
leave us, you
Facts.
know?
Facts.
So
Facts.
I
Facts.
do believe that this is what's called an
Oh,
evolution.
baby, thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
of healthier hair. I'm sure listen, if anybody watching thinks their hair is healthy, my Water Beauty Solution's gonna make it healthier. If you think your hair is already soft, my Water Beauty Solution is gonna make it softer. Yeah.
Facts.
No matter what's going on with your hair, my water is going to make it better.
Facts.
100% guaranteed.
Every time
Guaranteed.
you use it too. Facts.
Yes. Yes,
Facts.
yes. Hi, Miss
Yes.
Brandy. I didn't even know that was you on here. I love you, Miss Brandy, and thank you for
Yes.
using my Water Beauty Solution. You are a part of our tribe, and our tribe is growing. It's getting stronger and stronger with women that are empowered and are falling back in love with their hair. I know you're in love with your hair again. Mo is in love with her hair. I'm definitely
For the
back in love
first
with
time.
my hair.
Yes.
So thank you, ladies, for having an
Yes.
open mindset. There's so many women of color in the world today that have blocked mindsets and they refuse to let anything new enter their brains. They don't want to hear about nothing different. And so it takes a special woman and a special individual to accept new information, to stop and listen. So I thank everybody that has given us their time and attention tonight. We're going to do this a
Yeah.
lot more often so that we can create the consistency and be able to do this and come together a little bit more often. We'll have
Yeah.
much more dialogues. We have different topics that we can talk about and discuss. So I think this
Yeah.
is something we should do a little bit more consistently.
Yes.
Um,
To continue to bring
yes, to
the
help
education and the
spread
knowledge.
this gospel, this hair gospel.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so
I
much, Miss
love you.
Ida, for coming on. I love you. I appreciate you, your
It's
time.
my pleasure.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we will see you guys in our next live sometime soon. Good night,
Good
everybody.
night.
Thank you, Miss T.
You are so welcome.